it all becomes fluff. It becomes not important. It becomes stuff that you don't even look at, right? It's noise. But many people don't understand that, and that's why many people find themselves losing long term. You're okay. Put on the RSI. It has to be on a 1 minute chart, and when it's overbought for the first 2 candles of a 1 minute chart, you gotta sell it.
Quick disclaimer, these videos are meant for educational purposes only. Anything said or shown in any of these videos are personal opinion and my perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, so anything done is your responsibility.
Okay, hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to mentfx. I'm going to try and make this relatively quick, but it's going to be putting together everything that I've been teaching you for the last few days, talking about the importance of, one, understanding which markets are moving contexts and are not in a condition that might be applicable for non-stop confirmation of the 3-box system over and over and over again in a given area. And there may be uncertainty around whether you're bullish or bearish in a given direction, so you have to wait more so for your zones. And instead, what I showed you in some of those previous videos are the other pairs that I'm watching. And what I showed you is EG and GJ from what I remember. And this was all sent out in my private mentorship, so this was all recorded prior. I'm just going to very quickly, for the sake of those that are brand new to my channel, show you guys the actual Discord. So this is what I send out in the mentfx trade IDs. Again, these are not signals. I've never done signals in my life. I don't provide signals, but I do teach people how to view the market through the lens of what I teach on my public YouTube as well as in the private. And to do that, I have outlooks every single week with the team. I hold calls with the team all the time, discuss why and how I choose the zones I do, what I do, the context for it, all that fun stuff. But basically, ever since the outlook, I sent out the shorts on EG. And I even showed you guys here on YouTube in some of the previous videos, in the last 2 videos, so go and check that out. And I spoke about how this market was clearly setting up in a way that I wanted to follow it through, and it was the clearest one to me in the moment. And if you guys remember, I spoke about the breaks down here, the unmitigated S&Ds within here that I went ahead and refined as part of the 3-box system. So basically for me, I'm using box 1, box 2, box 3, and what I'm doing is I'm refining this further because of the unmitigated price action here, right? So this is all mitigated on this time frame, but because we understand we exist in multi-time frame ways of thinking, and we also understand how orders are transferred in and out of specific positions during time, what we can do is we can scale in and out to understand what the mitigation of an area looked like. So I really like this high to low. It was very clear from a very, very bullish market into a displacement to the downside. Following that displacement, we had the beautiful last up move liquidation of this displacement right here. So displacement of the high, breakdown, and then from there we had this low. So this is the overall low I'm targeting currently. And we had this, last up move that we don't know whether it's unmitigated or not. All we know is on this time frame it's mitigated. So I stepped down to a lower time frame, and at that point, I think it was off an 8-hour. Oh, okay. So in this case, what actually happened is I utilized the things I teach in the private mentorship, which is the 50% of an MB to decide the unmitigated portion of this move. So I'm going to show you guys where that comes from. I'm not going to explain MBs here. That is completely reserved for the private mentorship, link down below. But basically from this low to this high is an example of an MB. Similarly, on a 6-hour, that same low to that high is an example of an MB. On the 4-hour, you have the same thing. So I actually believe I used the 4-hour. So to show you that, guys, right now, I took this low of this up candle to the very high right here. And you can see that was my overall refined zone. So this is the area I expected, the unmitigated S&D portion or MB portion of that move that I suspected price would tap into and move from if I ever got that move. Because remember, here at mentfx, we don't play the game of forcing things. We never force things. We play the game of SSC. And in the case that we have a context that lines up with what we're doing and have the SSC met, then we can look for the actual confirmations and move that forward. So regarding where the zone came from, again, any of you that are in the private mentorship know exactly where the zone came from. Webinar 76 outlines the top-down analysis that I utilized before this week ever started to show you guys how I got the zone. And I then made a video publicly talking about the mitigation here and how I wanted to see and follow price down through all the lows. Now, again, this doesn't have to happen. It doesn't matter if it does, because I've already had one trade on EG that's been absolutely beautiful and is now delivering. So I made this video for you guys, and I spoke about the shorts, and I spoke about this market being the clear one for me, unlike some of the markets that have been a lot more clear to me over the last few months, like EU, GU, AU, and UJ, where we followed EU short for the last like what 9 months and UJ long for the last 9 months, and ever since it started to have its accumulation or an actual break in structure that's probably going to result in multiple back and forth break in structures that I spoke about in the 1 hour video that I released called Master Your Psychology and Patience, which is 50 minutes. I break down exactly why that is, how I view it, and then in the video following that, I broke down this EG for you. So in this case, what happened is price then comes in and taps into our zone right here, and following that from a standpoint of left to right structure, I believe it was off the 30-minute, no, it was off the 1 hour, right? Yeah, off the 1 hour, we had this low that made this high. Again, all this stuff in here doesn't matter. It's intermediary structure. It's stuff that you shouldn't really worry about unless you're profitable. And after this break right here, we utilize the last up move before the down move to understand where that supply zone comes from. Inefficiency showcases that that unmitigated price action. And again, price comes up into it. In this case, it absorbs it. That's fine. This is the concept of absorption. I think I teach this only in the private mentorship, but I've touched on it and spoken about it in the public. And then I tried to confirm that, but I got nothing, and then it broke down again. And from there, again, from a standpoint of left to right structure, so this is how we continuously apply the things I teach you here. We did have technically this break to the top side, which came from this low, right? But because we're aware that the context of this market is bearish, it's clean and it's bearish, I'm waiting for the context to line back up with what I'm looking for. And if it doesn't line up, I'm aware that I can stay out of this market, because as traders, right, what's our golden rule that I try to teach you guys and try to implant in your minds? We are only really going to be making money off of around 0.00001% of the moves in this actual market. Now, that's not actually true, but the philosophy behind that is that 99.9 or more percent of the moves in this market are not for you, and they're not about you, right? This is a huge issue many people have, where they see a market make a big move and they think they need to be in it. They missed the big move. Makes another big move. They need to be in it. Look, I wanted to be short, made a big move without me. I wanted to be short again, started making a big move without me. Many people at these points have already shoveled in their entire savings into this, and they're about to be completely broke. Okay, we don't do that. We play the game of SSC, and we allow price to give us the entries we expect, because we have learned and we understand how the 3-box system operates. And when it gives us the entries we want, that's when we get phenomenal entries. So instead, I continued following the left to right. We had the absorption of the S&D here. I didn't try to follow this long. Again, many mentorships instantly are looking to follow this break up here long. Retail is looking for support resistance here to go long, looking for channels right here, right? So, you know, if you've been in the retail space a long time, looking for the channels here to potentially go long, looking for the new channels built to go long, looking for the support resistance or head and shoulders to go long. You can see these little up candles here off of these areas act as that. And at the same time, you have dumb smart money looking at demand zones like this one right here, like this wick right here, like this big down candle here, that are similarly overlapping with these dumb minded zones. Because remember, it's not that retail analysis like support resistance, trends, and channels and all this stuff is bad. You can make a ton of money, actually millions, just doing that. Many traders have, and there's proof of that out in the open, right? However, what usually happens, and when I refer to retail or dumb money, I'm referring to the people that literally have this emotional tick that if price does X, they need to force, you know, X, Y, Z, 3, whatever the fuck, anything. The second price makes that one little tick move up, that's it. Their emotions are telling them they're going to miss a $3,000 bagger. They're going to miss a $30,000 bagger if they don't get in right now. And that's usually what happens here. Or you just have people that don't actually understand what they're doing or what they're teaching. Maybe they saw some of my videos and just decided, yep, this is how we do it. And they look at this break right here and they go, yep, we are bullish on this market. It's only bullish. It has to be bullish, without recognizing the overall, once again, higher within lower time frame confluence, right? So again, you should not be watching this video if you're brand new to my channel. Go back, watch my channel, because when I do stuff like this, you should know what I'm talking about. To put it simply, many people trade this way, higher and lower is disconnected. We trade this way. We allow the higher time frame to mask the lower, and then we allow that to make our lower have significantly better probability, better trades, and better ability to hold into bigger trades. So again, following this, I saw this breakdown right here happen, and as it happened, that's when I resent out this bias right here to continue watching short. So I'm going to go back into my mentorship here, and I'm going to show you guys what I was watching. So I had one trade on AU. I think I made a video on that recently. Yeah, so there was this right here that I sent out. So this was just an update. I basically said, EG updates since the outlook, right? Still expecting shorts, still moving short. You can see I never looked to trade anything here. Then I resent out this guy right here. Again, another refined zone based on basic S&D refinement, which is taught in the private mentorship. And I'll show you guys an example of refinement today because I actually took a trade off of a refinement. So I'll give you guys a little bit of sauce on the technical side there in a second. So I sent out this guy right here to continue the shorts. And then this morning, gonna watch for EG shorts coming into play. You can see this was today at 7:20 a.m. I'm expecting XXX USDs to keep pushing up to clear liquidity, not following them, no clear direction. So again, the same thing I made a video about recently, talking about how even though I might have an awareness about what price may want to do, because I need to be a lot more refined in my areas and I don't have a direct approach to the higher time frame trend, I'm going to more so stay away. So in this case, I'm staying away from Euro USD, GU, AU for the most part, unless I have a clear and defined trend. And that's what you guys saw when I showed you guys this breakdown here. Now, so then I basically said, going to watch for EG shorts, got a refined boy off this, setting alerts, and going to let it do whatever it wants to do. And then 8:30 a.m. is red news, so I'll be trading after that basically. And you can see what I sent out today, this morning, is off the 30-minute. So let me go to the 30-minute here for you guys. So I sent out this zone and this zone, right? So there you go. Before price ever reached there, right? Live price, all the fun stuff. Again, I don't really give a shit if you're brand new and think this is all hindsight and you're looking for a way to prove that it's hindsight. It's not important to me. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years, 2 years publicly, you know, and it's all recorded live way before it ever happens, right? Me breaking down exactly how I'm going to follow this short and why I'm short on this is available in the mentorship directly for everyone that is a paying member. And that's been, and stuff like that's available for over 2 years, spanning that time. And since that time, people have seen it happen again and again. So again, if anyone's in the mentorship and you're watching this, you know, feel free to drop a little comment below saying, yeah, sent all of this way before it happened. So again, I don't really give a shit if you believe me or not. At least utilize this for your own proper education, right? Because it's going to show you exactly how I utilize what I teach on this channel in the live markets. And again, this is all perspective based and based on a simulated environment. So do your own research, be responsible for your own actions, right? So I sent out this guy. Let's see where this came from. So this is based on the S&D 2.0 that I teach you guys here on this channel as well. It's actually one of my very much older videos, but it's called the S&D 2.0. And to put it simply, what's happening is on a higher time frame, there is an intermediary delivery of price. However, based on overall, sorry, excuse me. Based on the overall trend, we expect, my God, let me get some water in my system. One sec, guys. Hey, bud, hold on. My dog's right here too. So based on our higher time frame expectation, we already expect shorts, which means S&D to the short side or S&D 2.0s are all relevant and good areas to use as part of a 3-box system to keep going. Now, again, I'm going to quickly preface this by saying if you're not profitable yet, you really should only be focusing on basic left to right structure without adding on all this other stuff. I'm going to make a private mentorship video in this upcoming webinar talking about the S&D 2.0 in reference to this specific trade. But be more careful with doing stuff like this, especially if you're not in the advanced area of your own personal trading or if you're not already, you know, mildly profitable. But basically off this 4 hour, we already have a bearish bias and we're building, right, last on moves before the down moves that are, you know, getting mitigated and moving, but they're not breaking new structure yet. We still exist inside of this low to this high on the 4 hour, and that's it for the left to right. However, at the same time, based on S&D 2.0s and how we understand price, you know, delivers in terms of buying before selling, mitigating before real displacement, we understand that when this displaces down, this is creating an inside S&D 2.0 of a previous S&D because it's hitting another previous S&D we're expecting shorts from. So hopefully this inception doesn't fuck up your brains. Okay, so we have this actual S&D right here, which you can see is getting mitigated, right, by this price action here, which if we go to a lower time frame, you'll notice is getting mitigated by this price here. And what happened this morning is price moved against and away from that S&D, leaving behind an inefficient imbalance, right? Whatever you want to call it, imbalance, inefficient price action, unmitigated price action right here from this low to that high, thereby showing us, right, what? A valid S&D. right? So we have SSC, we have a structure, which we have a narrative for. We have a context behind why we're short, what we're looking for, the cleanliness of this market, how it's delivering, and we like it. And now we have the S&D portion. We have an S&D 2.0 version right here, which is unmitigated at the time of me sending this. And what I then did is I said, okay, this area personally, because I'm someone that trades and confirms off much lower time frames, is too large for me. And just like I teach you in the rule of 30, so again, as you hear me say all these things, these are all public free videos. So rule of 30, it's a public free video released by me. So look it up, type in rule of 30 mentfx and you'll learn about it. So if you're brand new, go back, watch that stuff, then come back here. So as per the rule of 30 and the idea of it, if I start confirming here on a lower time frame, I'm going to be taking losses inside of these wicks here, 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 potentially here, 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 and then I might get my actual win, right? But so I could have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 7, 8, maybe even 10 losses before my actual win. But instead, because the zone's relatively large for the type of confirmation we're looking for, right? So if you're confirming a very, very small time frame in a relatively large area, well, you can be wrong with this confirmation multiple times until the zone is either invalidated or until it holds. So instead, you have two options. One, you could increase this this confirmation, so the time frame of it. Therefore, you can get confirm, maybe one loss, and then win, right? Or invalidated. Or you can keep this small. That's what I'm doing here, your confirmation time frame, and you can make this smaller. Therefore, when price is here, it all becomes fluff. It becomes not important. It becomes stuff that you don't even look at, right? It's noise. And then the second it comes into the area you suspect that price could reach up to, but now that it's small, you can confirm it once or twice, right? And be either big time right or have it invalidated and move on. Because again, as we study and understand here at mentfx, we're not in this chart porn idea of every S&D zone holding, because actually most 90% of S&D zones fail. And that's a huge and good thing for us, because that means that's where our money is made. But many people don't understand that, and that's why many people find themselves losing long term. So we know that now we have this S&D here. So today it's going to be a little bit of a technical sauce on mitigation. This is the S&D we're looking at, and I could start confirming. But instead what I did is I jumped down to the 5-minute, okay? And at this point, you can see where the refinement came from. I looked for the last up move before the down move. Now, this could be refined all the way to this candle if you wanted to. However, notice the inefficiency in here, right? And notice how the inefficiency comes just below this previous low to high. So for me personally, off of a fractal way of thinking, remember how I teach you to think about S&Ds in terms of volume, not the little volume bars at the bottom of the chart, but actual volume of how market orders came in and then left the market, right? or like displaced and flushed the market out. So if you really think about what happened here, right, you had price, kind of drizzling up, playing around. And then at this point, so let's actually draw it out. So here we go. At this point, price opened, came down a little bit, and then instantly displaced up heavily, closed here. Next candle looks like it probably displaced heavily, came down, stopped, and then fell off the face of the earth. So when I ask you, where do you think this move mainly comes from? Would it be here, or would it be here? You can notice that the actual buy before the sell, the volume that came into this market, came from the major displacement that basically started to liquidate all these lows on a lower time frame. Before the sell-off, right? So this inefficiency, what it does for you is it shows you the most likelihood chance of where price may reach into to mitigate actual previous buy orders before sell orders. Now, what does mitigation mean? Watch my mitigation video on the free public YouTube. Once again, all of this is explained. So anything you hear me say right now, if you're confused, go back and watch my public YouTube channel from the start. You don't have to pay for me, but again, if you want significant depth, definitely check out mentfx.com. Launchpad. I mean, it's just a link in the description. It's all the same thing. It's the only thing I offer. Or mentfunding.com if you actually want to get funded. So instead of using this, I refined further to this last up move before the down move, including a portion of this unmitigated price action, but under the understanding that the main buys into this market didn't come in here, right? They came in here. And again, just to showcase this, remember how this looks, okay? So just remember the area where that exists, because a lot of people could say you did this after the fact. Just remember how these two look, what that refinement looks like compared to this refinement. And we're going to go back here and take a look at that, right? That is that exact same zone you see right here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys that right now off the 30-minute, right? There you go. So you can see that that's the zone shown right there. That's exactly what was sent out. That's the refined zone that I sent out personally, and that was the reason for that refinement, right? And I'm going to break that down in terms of MBs and how we think in the private mentorship this Sunday, okay? And that would again be Sunday of the 20th of November, because this is going to be probably uploaded way after that, because when I record videos live, when I record videos for the private mentorship, it's always out the same day. When I record it for the public YouTube, it's always out a little bit later, okay? And then what you'll see beautifully is, let's take a look at where this price mitigated. All right, so that's the refinement we just spoke about. I just have it controlled onto that low as per the 15-minute, right? So this is the understanding as per the 5-minute. This is the understanding of being able to scale between timeframes, because timeframes don't exist, orders do. And we use timeframes to view the orders. We don't use timeframes to dissect a system. I'm not here going, all right, guys, okay. Put on the RSI, it has to be on a 1-minute chart, and when it's overbought for the first 2 candles of a 1-minute chart, you gotta sell it, because the market doesn't move on timeframes, it moves on actual orders, right? The banks, the institutions, the composite operator, as I refer to it as I teach it as I've always taught it as Wyckoff's main principle of market movement, doesn't sit there looking at charts or timeframes. They sit there looking at actual orders coming in and out of the market, and then buying up those orders, manipulating those orders as they need to, using those orders to pair off other orders, buy into those orders to sell off, to then re-mitigate those orders later, right? That's all happening on their given institutional software, backend, all that fun stuff, which is why we can't sit here and assume that trading a one time frame approach is necessarily the best way to look at something. Instead, we need to understand that by going through timeframes, we can view those orders as they came into the market and recognize from a standpoint of basically probability and personal experience where the likelihood of mitigation is. And then when we're wrong, if someone did do something like this and refine like that, you would have not been able to potentially catch this trade. That is part of the game. You need to be aware of that. And that's something that you can't FOMO into. But nonetheless, this is what I sent out that morning, right? All good, all fun. And today, we came into the zone, and again, I confirmed it using my normal double MB confirmation, which once again, in the upcoming Sunday, I'll break down the exact confirmation here based on the 1 second double MB, and the setup that I share and show you guys as part of my personal setup in the section 4 of the course, right? But this is how you refine zones, right? And then we can play this out. I'll even show you guys. So I said I'm basically watching for a confirm here. You can see off the 32nd, looking for the break of that low. As the low happens, this is the trade I personally took. So again, if you know what's happening here, if you understand it, these are basic 3-box systems, prorated with a little bit of a further in-depth analysis of actual using MB. So I'm using my personal double MB analysis entry. So anyone that's been in the mentorship knows exactly what I'm talking about here. This was my entry right here. Then watching for my BE rule, I moved to BE with the same rule I've taught you guys on this channel. So to showcase it to you guys very quickly, right, as we talk about all the time, we have the down move, right? Price gives me an entry inside of here. This is the entry I literally took, right? Price continues going. Oh shit, I have to move it up. Here we go. Okay. Price continues moving lower, gives a pullback, right? Breaks the low. And again, is this new 3-box below my entry price? Yes. So at this exact point, when this break of this candle right there happened, I moved my entire trade to break even. Okay, so that's all. That literally in about a few seconds after being in the trade, I was moved to break even on this. That is how I manage my personal trades. And this is a lower time frame, so it's faster. But again, if this was a higher time frame, it would just take a little bit longer. That's the only difference, right? Time is the only difference. So yeah, you can see it just played around this area for a while. Again, how was I not stopped out on spread and all that stuff? Well, first of all, mentfunding has, I think, like 0.1 pip or 0.0 pip spread on 8cap. On mentfunding.com on the broker. So it's phenomenal for that. But I also personally use my trade manager, which is also in the description below if you want to check it out, where there is an option to have price only take you out with actual price and not spread. So you have your stop somewhere here, and you have the line that the trade manager provides you right here, and price will only take you out if price crosses this and won't take you out on spread. So you'll still take a small loss based on that spread or slippage or commission and all that fun stuff, but you'll only be taken out at actual price. So even if price came up like this close, it wouldn't take you out until it actually hit the line, right? So that's the trade manager I developed with a developer, and that's the one I sell. You can see it in the description if you want it. Otherwise, don't worry about it, right? I'm just showcasing how I personally do my things because these are questions that I've seen in the comments below. So I got in this trade. The partial one was set here. Didn't really just wait it for it. This is 1 to 10 set right there. Delivered to the 1 to 10. Secured my +5. 50% of 10 RR. Next one set at 25 RR. And then I'm just waiting. And I chose to make this video because I got some time on my hands and I'm just waiting because my manager's doing the rest. And that's it. And I sit back and let it do its thing. And guess what? This might end up being, once again, one of my best trades of the year, because again, my overall target is going to still be this low. That's at around 200 RR right now, and then I may look to continue this forward, but probably this is going to be my final TP. Maybe I'll go a little bit further off a 4-hour shift and then exit, but this is going to be my main TP. Again, it's very unlikely to run that far. Usually I don't even expect it to run to the second partial, but that is what it was based on. And I created a video for you guys before this one talking to you about the importance of clarity in your trends and markets that you're following, and spoke specifically to you for like an hour about why it's so important to do personal research and then not watch pairs that are, you know, bad or in bad areas or in price actions that aren't that you're not used to, or in a price action or an area that isn't worth confirming. So instead, I took a break from these three right here, and I've been watching E, G, and GJ. I actually had 2 zones. So GJ didn't get tapped. It missed it by like a few pips. I had a relatively large zone, so I'd still have to do multiple confirmations. So this might come up later this week, and then I might be able to follow that down. But EG is the one that came in, gave me the alerts that I needed. I'm going to delete this alert now because I'm already in this trade here. I have both alerts set up. But it came up and gave me the setup I want. And again, notice something really, really vital in your own learning. Notice how I'm not forcing longs into here, but instead I'm looking for reasons to go short, right? And this came from an S&D 2.0 for reasons to go short based on an overall market analysis, which is telling me it wants to head short, right? So this is that zoom out strategy I taught you, golden goose method right there. You zoom in, you have this lower time frame golden gooses. You play with the time frames to understand the best zones. You can refine these zones based on the volume that came into them by looking at time frames to view those orders, right? It's all there and it's all in front of you. And I'm excited and kind of want to make this video for you guys because, you know, after making a video just a second ago publicly talking about how I'm going to follow this short, you know, you get the same moves every single day. And, you know, it was beautiful. This is an absolutely beautiful trade. Yeah, we tapped in perfectly, confirmed it down. Again, the entry is like inside there. It's hard to see, but entry in there, started taking it short, moved to break even. Again, we can even like look at this, right? Move to break even around. So got in, when did I get in? I got in right here. Oops, got in right here. Moved to break even right there, like I just showed you guys. Price reached back up, broke down, reached back up, broke down, but never reached into my SL, so we're good there. Started moving short. You know, delivered short as it needs to. Many people, even if they took this sell with me, right? If someone entered a sell here, many people, because of the inability to be emotionally sound or system secure, are exiting here. Are exiting here on this first break. They're terrified because they have no data collection to back what they're doing. And again, if you want the direct step-by-step way to, 1, properly start applying concepts, and 2, to properly analyze, believe in yourself, grow confidence in yourself, do proper data collection, and 3, have access to real deep depth of information for multiple confirmations, the mentorship is definitely for you. So that's how I caught this trade. That's how I followed this market. That's how I literally made videos for you guys on it. And that's how I also refine zones. And that's how you use the S&D 2.0 in your own trading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of stuff jam-packed in this one. You might have to rewatch it. You might have to watch it alongside some of those other videos I mentioned. But again, you're going to slowly see, or in some cases, a lot of you quickly see, how if you've been going through the actual course process of my public mentorship or private, you have, you know, you've moved mountains, you've moved hills. So keep moving mountains, keep moving hills, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thank you so much. And hopefully this runs to this runs to its completion. I'm already secured on it, already at BE, and at this point, it's just a game of management, and we're gonna let it do what it wants to do. Thanks, guys. Bye.